Hey, this is John Cortese back at you again, and this video now is an answer to a question I got about how I got into Olympic weightlifting and why did I start. So how, when, and why. I'll tell you a story. So basically, so I graduated high school in 2004, and we had always been taught more or less the basic barbell movements, but we never were really taught how to properly do an Olympic lift, meaning the snatch or clean and jerk. A little bit, but it was, the hang power clean, and that was about it. Typical high school program incorporates just the hang power clean, and that's about it for whatever reason. So fast forward to college, again, hang power clean. Even towards the end of my collegiate athletic career, we did the power versions of the lifts. We didn't do any overhead stuff. So no jerks. We did push jerks very lightly, push presses, stuff like that. But we never really did anything remotely close to what I'm doing now. But throughout that time, I was always very into the explosive lifts and the nature of them, and I could just see the benefit. And I could see these videos of these Olympic weightlifters jumping out of the roof, and I had read that they could sprint faster and everything like that. But again, it was hard because there was nothing around the area where I could get coaching from. And our coaches had all the greatest intentions in the world, but they were football coaches. They were not weightlifting coaches. Okay. So fast forward towards the end of my collegiate athletic career, after I was cut from the football team at Cal Poly, I got really, really into. I said, okay, well, my athletic career is pretty much at this point as a collegiate athlete, it's done. And the next best thing that I could do was learn how to move properly and teach others how to do that, which is what brought me to where I'm at now. And again, a couple years out of college, I was kind of like, you're done playing sports and it's kind of just taken from you. And that kind of left a void in me, right? I was still wanting to compete in something. I just didn't know what. And I was still dabbling a little bit in like the open track meets and all this kind of stuff. And then it kind of clicked that, well, there's a weightlifting gym about 30 to 40 minutes away from where I live here in Napa. And I just remembered, like, from 5 or 6 years prior to this, that I remember I was working at this Gold's Gym in Santa Rosa. And this guy came in and he said, you should really check this weightlifting gym out in town. It will help your speed and your strength and all that. And I took the brochure, but I never followed through until it's been about 2 years. So I called my coach, Freddie Miles, about 2 years ago, and I said, look, I want to compete in weightlifting, and I've heard really good things about you. And I need help. I knew that I could not do this alone. And I said to myself and to Freddie, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be the best at it. And I want to just do this more than just a hobby. Like, I want to go as far as I can go with the sport. It's a great sport because there's no age limit. It's a weight class sport. And my background as a sprinter and a wide receiver, I have pretty, explosive muscle fibers and everything like that. So I thought I could do well in it. And I had a pretty decent squat for my body weight. I had already done the movements more or less, the power movements at least. So I just needed a little bit of technique, coaching, and cueing from someone that knew what they were doing. So I started weightlifting in 2011. Like not just the power movements, like actually training for the sport of weightlifting in March of 2011. Had my first competition in May of 2011, and I snatched 72 kilos and clean and jerked 102 kilos. I had a body weight of 85 kilos or 187 pounds. Okay. Fast forward to now, my best lifts in training are 106 snatch, which is 233, and 130 clean and jerk, 286 pounds. And I've cleaned 297 pounds in training at the same body weight. Same body weight. My body composition has changed drastically though. Okay. Looking at pictures from then to now, same exact body weight, but I've gained more muscle in my thighs, my back, my shoulders, and I've lost body fat to go along with that. And I seriously attribute that to how I train, in accordance with obviously cleaning up my diet. I pretty much have eliminated all alcohol. I eat extremely clean for the most part, about 90% of the time. The supplementation with isogenics has helped extremely well with that regard. But again, the important thing is when looking back, I was able to make such good progress because, and I'm still not done, but the progress I made from then to now, I attribute that to letting go of my ego as a coach myself and seeking extra help, because I knew, again, I could not do this alone. And I don't have an ego when it comes to learning how to do movements better or something that could benefit me as a coach and a person. And then I take that back to my clients, right? So now that we actually have that established, I mean, now we're a weightlifting gym. We are a sanctioned club through USA Weightlifting. We're different in that regard, and I think that has set us apart as a gym in town. So that none of this would have happened unless I would have picked up the phone and called Freddie. Who knows? Maybe it could have. Maybe things would have been different as far as how we coach our athletes. But I think it's been huge in that I just bit the bullet and said I'm going to go for this, and I have not looked back since. I have maybe missed 4 or 5 scheduled training sessions in 2 years, maybe, if that, due to illness or due to something else happening in my personal life. But I always make the sessions up, and I think it's important as a coach to understand from somebody looking at from the outside in that I am walking the walk, and I don't make my clients or my athletes do anything I've never done. I can demonstrate everything I'm telling them to do. And I take pride in that I lead from the front, and that I'm doing everything I'm asking them to do. Okay, so that's the story about how I got into weightlifting, and now I'm still competing. It's now April 2013. I have a competition in 2 weeks from today, and my goals are to snatch 110 kilos. That's the goal. 242 pounds, and clean and jerk 137, 301 pounds at the same body weight. So I will keep you guys updated on that, and then we'll just go from there. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask. This is John Cortese, johncortese.com. See you guys.